Welcome back to the Aubergine Chef. Today we'll be revisiting the peanut butter pie episode, so we'll be making it again, making it faster, making it in HD. It's also one of my more popular desserts in terms of what I give out to friends and what I get requested for a lot by friends. And it's actually really easy. It's four components. Yeah, four components. We've got the chocolate cookie crust, the chocolate pastry cream layer, peanut butter mousse, and then chantilly cream on top. So it's four separate recipes, but they're all really, really easy to do. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make your pie crust. Now I'm using 10-inch pie tins, but I do recommend 9-inch pie tins. It's just that I thought I was buying 9-inch, and then I ended up buying 400 10-inch. So I'm going to have to deal with it. But you just need these pie tins or pie shells if you have like the ones that are reusable. I mean, these are reusable. You should reuse them if you can. And then you need 12 ounces of ground cookie crumbs. So I like to use Teddy Grahams actually because it's a unique flavor, and people always have Oreo crust. So Teddy Grahams is a good change. Now this recipe you can interchange with Oreo crumbs, Nilla wafers, graham crackers. You might need to adjust the liquids, the butter and the egg white a little bit, but I've found over time that it's pretty reliable just to substitute the cookie out. And the reason it's so finicky with the other cookies is because each of those cookies are different ratios of ingredients on their own. So some of them might be a little bit more moist, like the Nilla wafers. Some of them might be a little bit more dry, like the Teddy Grahams. So just keep that in mind if you try to switch it out. Use a little bit less, and then you can add to it. But you can't take any of it out unless you add more crumbs. But that's just going to mess everything up. So just start with less liquid and add to it if you're not making Teddy Graham crumbs. And then here I have 1 ounce of egg whites, which I'm using the pasteurized egg whites out of the carton. Normally I use the fresh eggs. It's just I had carton egg whites from Royal Icing already in my refrigerator, so I might as well use up what I have. And I have 3 ounces of melted butter, and it's not hot because you don't want to accidentally cook your egg white. And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine them all together. Alright, so taking a big bowl of the crumbs. Now, I'm actually making 2 pies. So if you want to make 1 pie, you need 5 to 6 ounces of the crumbs, up to 2 ounces of the butter, and about half an egg white. So about 1/2 an ounce to 3/4 of an ounce. So sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you there, but I'm actually making 2 pies. So again, just combine all of your butter and then your egg white. Now your egg white is optional, but I find that it makes your cookie crust a lot stronger, so I always use it from now on. And just mix it with your hands. And really when you're making a cookie crust, what you're doing is you're basically kind of deconstructing the cookie and then putting it back together in the shape that you're looking for. Okay, once all of your cookie crumbs are moist and it starts to kind of be able to pack together into clods, it's pretty much ready to go. Now, if you're doing 1 pie, you don't have to do this step, but it's actually pretty good that I'm doing 2 pies because I can show you. It's much, much easier to weigh out your crumbs as you need them for the pie shells. So you need about 7 ounces per pie. And what you want to do is aim a little low. And that way, if you have crumbs left over, you can distribute it. But if you end up short on your last pie, then you have to go back and finagle it and try to figure out which of the pie shells has too much and which one doesn't have enough. Okay, and then to form your pie shell, what I do is I kind of press the cookies crumbs down from the middle and kind of just push them out to the edge. So it's a nice even layer on the bottom. And then taking my other hand, just go around and just compact it against the side like I would with a pie shell. And I might go around a couple times to make sure it's extra packed in, and that little corner where the pie shell's bottom and the pie shell sides meet is nice and crimped or just all the way in, so that way I don't have a really thick corner on my pie shell. And it's good to make sure it's compact, so that way it bakes nice and solid. And I'm going to do the other one, and then we're going to bake it at 375 degrees for about 8 minutes. Again, this is for the Teddy Grahams crust. If you're doing Nilla wafers or graham crackers, it might take less, it might take longer. So start with like 5 minutes and then check it for those other shells. Alright, so our pie crust came out of the oven. It's still a little bit hot. And it's nice and firm. You can tell when it's ready because it feels like it's coming together. Now in the oven, it still might feel a little bit soft. But what you're looking for is it's going to feel solid as opposed to crumbly like when you were putting it together. You'll know what you're looking for, don't worry. Now the next step is you want to make pastry cream. Now I already have a basic video on how to make pastry cream that's pretty good, so I'm going to stick with that. But I'll give you the ingredients for this specific pastry cream. So on the stove you want to have 9 ounces of whole milk coming to a boil with 1 ounce of granulated sugar. So that's all the milk and half the granulated sugar. Then in a small bowl, in another bowl, you want to have 1 whole egg, 1 ounce of granulated sugar, and half an ounce of cornstarch, and whisk that together real well, and that's your cornstarch slurry. So use the same techniques in the pastry cream video with those ingredients, and you'll be good to go. After you come off the stove, you want to stir in 2 ounces of chocolate chips and 3/4 ounce or a little bit, a tablespoon and a half of unsalted butter, and you want to stir that all in. Now remember, I'm making 2 pies, so if it seems like a lot, that's why. And you also want to put in a splash of vanilla extract, so about 1/8 of an ounce, and just stir that in until all the chocolate and butter has melted. Now if you want to, you can weigh it out, and again, if you're making 1 pie, you don't have to worry about that, but each pie should get about 1 pound of pastry cream. Looks like it's a little shy. I think each pie would get about 14-15 ounces of pastry cream, which makes sense since we boiled the milk on the stove, we would lose a couple ounces. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We're just going to let this firm up in the refrigerator until it's completely cool, because the mousse on top will melt if it's too hot. And if you want to, you can use a piece of plastic wrap all the way to the surface to prevent a skin from forming. But because this is the center of the cake, it's not such a huge deal. It's not as noticeable. Alright, so now we're going to move on to making our peanut butter mousse. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make your chantilly cream in the bowl. Take 14 ounces of heavy cream with 1 ounce of powdered sugar and a splash of vanilla extract, and just whip that up until it reaches medium peaks. Then, in the same bowl without cleaning it, you want to whip up some soft peak heavy cream. So combine 8 ounces of heavy cream with 1/8 of an ounce of vanilla extract, so a splash of vanilla extract, and whip it up to soft peaks. And we're going to use this for our mousse. So the one that you whipped up first, the chantilly cream, keep it in the refrigerator. You're going to use that for piping on top, so it's your topping. This one is for folding and making your peanut butter mousse. So then in this bowl, again, without cleaning it first, you don't have to, the heavy cream is not going to ruin it. Combine 5 ounces of peanut butter with 1.5 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. You can warm it up in the microwave just like you do butter. Just a heads up though, when you nuke cream cheese, sometimes it pops, so make sure you put a plastic wrap or a paper towel on top of it so it doesn't ruin your microwave or make your microwave dirty. 1 ounce of milk and 2.5 ounces of powdered sugar. Put them all in the bowl at the same time. Mix it with your paddle attachment until it looks basically like a peanut butter stuff, I don't know, thing. So, now that we've got it all nice and softened because of the cream cheese and the milk and sweetened with the powdered sugar, I'm talking about the peanut butter here, and we can go ahead and fold in to make the peanut butter mousse. So, take a little bit at a time and just kind of stir it in. The peanut butter is super, super heavy, so your whipped cream is pretty much going to lose all those air cells that you took that time to make. That's why you want to start off with a little bit, because we want to lighten it step by step as we're folding it in. So stir it in really good. Try to get rid of those streaks as well, because you want to make sure that peanut butter flavor is nice and even throughout. Then take another scoop and just fold it in again. And just keep repeating until all the whipped cream is added. Okay, and then your finished peanut butter mousse will look something like this. Okay, so your pastry cream should be nice and cool now. So we can go ahead and take about half of this peanut butter mousse and pour it on top, and then spread it all the way to the edge. Try to stay within the crust though, and just make it flat. Alright, so after you get your peanut butter mousse on top, you can refrigerate it to firm it up if you want. But you can put your topping on right away. You don't have to wait. So you can put it on kind of organically, rustically, by just taking a spoon and just putting it on. Or you can pipe it on, which I've been doing lately. I use the same technique in the turtle pie episode. So what you want to do is with an 824 star tip, or an 825 star tip, I like 824, in your piping bag, you want to do just basically ropes of chantilly cream. So starting in the middle, just start piping swirls of chantilly cream all the way down the pie. So you have something that looks kind of like that. Try to close up your rosette a little bit better than I did. Rotate the pie so that the point where you started, the middle row or the first row, is pointing at you. And then just do the same thing, and this will kind of create some dimension to your pie. And then just keep rotating and piping along the pie until you're finished. Alright, and then to finish off your pie, I like to take some toffee pieces and just sprinkle them on top, about like an ounce or so. And you can also take some peanut butter, warm it up in the microwave just until it's fluid, not hot, because you don't want to melt your whipped cream, and you can drizzle it on top. You don't have to add anything to it, no cream or anything like that, just warm peanut butter. Not even warm, just fluid peanut butter. Alright, so that's how you make the peanut butter pie. Now, remember, you can top it off any way you want. You don't have to pipe it on top if you don't want to, or you don't have to pipe this specific design. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. And remember, you can drizzle some peanut butter on top. To get nice clean slices, make sure you you could, but make sure you refrigerate your pie for at least 1 to 2 hours so that everything is nice and firm and solidified. Now, everything won't come out like pristine, perfect food photography slices, but at least they'll come out a little bit cleaner. So anyway, I hope you learned a lot today. Thank you for watching, and remember, the Aubergine Chef, demystifying dessert one recipe at a time.